Good morning, Chicago. I'm Larry Potash. We told you we were coming, and here we are bringing you the show live from Navy Pier.
Oh, Chicago! I'm Bill Weir, and in the Olympic spirit, we're going to have breakfast at the bait shop. We're going to show you Olympic highlights from last night and perhaps do an 800-meter swim out to the buoy, all coming up.
And this is the indoor tropical paradise called the Crystal Gardens. Good morning, Chicago. I'm Joni Lum. Lots of places to take you today. We start with the Children's Museum coming up.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Robin Baumgarten with traffic and Skycam 9 flying inbound on the Kennedy, which is a clog fest. We're headed for Navy Pier to give you an aerial view.
And good morning, Chicago. I'm meteorologist Paul Hutner providing all this glorious weather for our live show at Navy Pier. Lots of sunshine out there today. Temperatures in the 70s. I'll have details in weather.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Sonia again. All of this and a paycheck, too. It must be a Friday. It's July 26th, and WGN Morning News is about to take off from Navy Pier.
Live from Chicago's very own Sonia Gannett, Larry Potash, Joni Lum, Bill Weir, Roseanne Tellez, Paul Hutner, Robin Baumgarten, and Sam Rubin live from Hollywood. This is WGN Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. Boy, we could not have asked for a better day. Is it not beautiful out here?
This is great. Every time we go on a field trip, we have pleasant weather. Maybe we should do it every day.
I know. I came in today and I said, okay, my permission slip is signed. Can I go, please?
I've got my bag lunch.
Boy, it's so beautiful. And just watching the people when we were coming in, a lot of people obviously come out here and jog because we're not alone this morning. I mean, our crew is here, of course, but a lot of joggers out here and people are just walking around going, what's going on at Navy Pier so early in the morning?
I think that's one of the best features of this place is just the view. To come out here and enjoy the atmosphere, especially from the east end of the pier. It's just gorgeous to see the skyline.
I used to always take tourists before Navy Pier reopened back over near the planetarium whenever people would come to visit and let them take a picture of the skyline from there. But this is a great vantage point too. And if you've never been, we should just say right up front, this is where we are. If you're coming from Lakeshore Drive, you want to look for the Grand and Illinois exit. Grand Avenue, Illinois Avenue, and you can get right here. It's not difficult. There are plenty of signs and quite a bit to do here.
Yeah, if you come down here and you've never been here before, bring your walking shoes because there's quite a bit of ground to cover.
Yeah. The first time I came, we just wanted to take the baby out for a walk, and I think Mommy got a walk too. I mean, boy, it was quite a bit of exercise. If you give you an idea of how large it is, we're told 10 football fields laid end to end.
And during the 40s, 50s, and 60s, this used to be a University of Illinois campus, and they didn't have much time in between classes, so they used to have to roller skate from one end of the pier to the other, which must have been tough in January.
Yeah. Way back in 1909, when Daniel Burnham first started thinking about this, and of course we're very close to Meigs Field, so you can hear the planes going overhead. But when he first thought about it, he wanted to make it a recreational pier, but also a pier with business uses, obviously. And I think at its peak, 250 vessels used to come and dock here and go in and out. So it's a very busy place. It was a hospital at one time, which I didn't know. And then, of course, you know it got its name in honor of Navy veterans from World War I. And
one very famous one who we'll be talking about a little bit later when we talk about the history of Navy Pier.
So much to do and see, as we say. Joni's going to be over at the Children's Museum. Bill's got something about basketball.
I think he's participating in the dunking contest, or in his case, maybe it's the layup contest. I don't know.
So quite a bit, but first we want to catch up on today's news, and we're going to go back to the studio for that and check in with Roseanne. Good morning, Roseanne.
Good morning, Larry and Sonia. Our top story this morning, the probe into the TWA air disaster may soon turn into a criminal investigation. Investigators listen to the so-called black boxes and the final recorded moment of Flight 800 yesterday. A source close to the case says they're more sure than ever that a bomb blew the jumbo jet out of the sky.
All 4 CVR channels recorded a brief fraction of a second sound just prior to the end of the tape.
They hear a loud noise clear up in the cockpit, then you know you had a major kind of a detonation.
Investigators aren't yet saying what the flight recorders have revealed. They say they need to find physical evidence of a bomb before they declare the crash a crime. In the wake of the TWA air disaster, President Clinton has announced tighter airport security measures. This could mean delays for travelers and higher ticket prices. More luggage will be searched by hand and more bags screened, and on international flights, a thorough pre-flight inspection will be required. Most people that WGN talked with at O'Hare Airport yesterday said they would gladly wait longer to ensure a safe trip. And there was another bomb scare at O'Hare last night. Police say a first-class passenger on a United Airline flight claimed he had a bomb on board. Airline officials took him off the plane, evacuated all the passengers, and searched for a bomb. They didn't find anything suspicious. The man later said it was all a joke, but police arrested him anyway. This is the third bomb scare at O'Hare in just the past few days. The TWA tragedy has taken the heat off of another airline. The NTSB investigation into the May ValueJet crash is on temporary hold because of the TWA disaster. All 110 people on board ValueJet Flight 592 were killed when that crash occurred in the Florida Everglades. Many of the victims remain unidentified. ValueJet is holding a mass burial for those victims next week. The airline has been grounded by the FAA, but it hopes to be running again next month. Here now, look at some of the other stories making headlines this morning. Police will seek a warrant today to expand the search for 99-year-old Henry Verhulst. Investigators sifted through dirt yesterday beneath a room addition at the Northwest Side home of Verhulst's daughter. But there was no sign of any human remains. Verhulst was reported missing July 3rd. Investigators became suspicious, though, when neighbors said they hadn't seen him in nearly 30 years. Police continued to investigate yesterday's discovery of two badly decomposed bodies in an apartment on Chicago's Gold Coast. The cause of death hasn't yet been determined, but authorities suspect foul play. The bodies of a woman and child were found after neighbors complained of a strong odor. Amanda Wallace is spared the death penalty for murdering her son. She was sentenced yesterday to life in prison without parole. The judge told the court her execution does not serve the values of society. Wallace was convicted for hanging her 3-year-old son in 1993. The federal government is probing some seat belts on Chrysler minivans. The investigation was prompted by thousands of consumer complaints that the belts fail to buckle and sometimes unlatch themselves. The probe could lead to the recall of 1 million 1991 through 93 Chrysler minivans. Time now 7:05. We're going to toss to traffic. And Robin, I heard you use a technical term earlier, something about a clog fest?
Yes, that's listed in the traffic thesaurus that we're all issued when we start reporting. Yeah, the Kennedy is real bad this morning, Roseanne. As you make your way inbound, it's slow on the west end, basically into about Lawrence, and then anywhere south of Kimball into the Hubbard Street Tunnel. They had an accident there, got it swept off to the shoulder pretty quick, but delays still sticking around. I'll show you that travel time in just a second. But look where we are. We're hovering over Navy Pier. Here's a look at the WGN live truck down there. We're scanning to find the crew, and there's a shot of us hovering over the pier. Let's show you the travel times as we scoot around the pier to find things we're looking at around here. 40 minutes in from the airport, and that is building now actually closer to 45. The outbound trip a little bit better, but not much. The Eatons in from Lake Hook Road about 25, which is practically nothing, but expect an extra 10 outbound. Getting word of a couple of accidents, both around Old Orchard, one on the side, one in the center lane. Eisenhower 50 minutes either way between 53 and downtown. Your Stevenson in from the Tri-State a solid hour, jammed 83 to the Tri-State and anywhere east of Harlem. Dan Ryan roughly a 30-minute trip in from 95th. We'll give you more scenic shots from the air here around Navy Pier all morning long. Roseanne?
Okay, thanks, Robin. Well, I'm not alone here at the station. Paul Huttner's keeping me company, and Paul, it looks like they have fabulous weather for today at Navy Pier.
Oh, did we come through big time or what? I mean, here it is in all its glory this morning. Couldn't have asked for a better morning. The sunshine, the light winds, perfect day for a chopper flying or a live remote broadcast or just about anything else. Here's a shot not too far from Navy Pier, from the Field Museum. We're looking to the north-northeast across the harbor, and it is placid and peaceful and tranquil and still this morning. Right now we have 63 at O'Hare, but this scene here, a huge contrast from what happened yesterday in New Mexico. This is footage from Cimarron, New Mexico, where a tornado touched down, injuring at least 6 people and causing damage to 50 buildings in the historic Wild West town. The post office was demolished, the brick walls scattered on the ground. As you can see, just a lot of damage there. A gas station, a pizza parlor, a flower shop, and a beauty salon. 5 of the injured taken to a hospital. 4 of them were treated for cuts and bruises and released. So not great news in Cimarron, New Mexico. Some trouble there for sure, but we don't have anything like that in our forecast for today. 63 right now at O'Hare, 57 at Waukegan, 64 at the lakefront not far from the pier, 59 out in Rockford this morning. Dew points, very comfortable. Look at the 40s, look at the 50s. That's comfortable weather. Really, you can't ask for better weather this time of year. And our winds today coming from the west-northwest. That's what's going to keep us in that rather cool and comfortable weather regime as we head right through today. Take a look at the satellite loop. You can see a couple of things. First of all, the sunshine here, clear skies across the entire state of Illinois. Hardly a cloud in the sky, and that'll be the case through much of today. But you see these clouds back to the west here. This is with a weather disturbance that may begin to affect our weather as we move into the weekend. Now, I think mainly what we're going to see is clouds with this, but we'll have a little bit of a chance of rain as well, especially as we get into Sunday night and Monday. Of more importance, take a look at Tropical Storm Cesar. That is of more importance if you're down along the north coast of Colombia or Venezuela. Right now, Cesar is a tropical storm. It's centered about 120 miles north of Barranquilla, Colombia, and it is moving to the west near 20. Only 45-mile-an-hour winds. This may strengthen and continue on a general westward path in the general direction of Nicaragua. After that, we'll have to see. It may turn more towards the north, something we'll be watching over the weekend. Here's the high pressure that brings us the glorious day for today. Plenty of sunshine, but here's this little disturbance, and most of the energy with this will be to our south, so that's where the bulk of the shower and thunderstorm activity will be. But as we get into Sunday and then into Monday, it appears this may curve to the north, and as it does so, our chances for precipitation will increase. So I think we're looking at a pretty good weekend, just a slight chance of rain, and most of it I think will hold off until early next week. Highs for tomorrow and today, looking at 70s for the most part, so relatively cool for this time of the year. Look at the heat out west. It remains near 100 degrees all the way up to places like Portland, Oregon. We'll stay cool, it looks like, late this week and through the weekend because of this dip in the jet stream. Our daycast for today, I'm calling for plenty of sunshine today, just a few puffy clouds forming. Our high today about 78 degrees, perfect weather. Northwest winds 5 to 15. Our sunset tonight 8:15. That's it for now. We'll have a look at the 7-day coming up later on. Roseanne, you can't beat this, can you?
Sounds great. Thanks a lot, Paul. And now we're going to go back to Navy Pier and Larry and Sonia.
Thank you, Roseanne. I'm sorry you couldn't be out here to join us in this beautiful weather this morning.
Yes, I would love, well, I still might have to go out there. It just looks great.
You'll have to. And thank Paul for us directly, because this, I mean, like we said, we couldn't have asked for better. I almost feel like we should bow to him. Thanks, Roseanne. Well, Robin's buzzing by, too. I mean,
yeah,
really
I thought she was engaging in an air assault. She was hovering right above us for the longest time. We had difficult hearing.
She got kind of low, too.
Right.
So Captain Don really can bring that in really well. The pier that we're sitting on has been a landmark in Chicago for the last 80 years.
When it was first built, it was the largest structure of its kind in the world and the only pier to combine business and pleasure. Looking back, it doesn't even compare. Built in 1916, Municipal Pier No. 2 hardly had a catchy name or bright colors, but it was still a sight for entertainment. They danced during the big band era. And since there was no air conditioning in those days, people came here to escape the heat and enjoy the breezes blowing on the east side of the pier.
Even from the very beginning, it was a place for fun. In addition to the shipping, there were parties. You still meet people who courted here in the 20s and got married.
In 1927, the pier was renamed Navy Pier in honor of veterans returning home. During World War II, this was an important Navy training center.
They trained pilots to land on carriers, and there are a lot of these are very small carriers and very neophyte pilots, so there are a lot of planes out in the bottom of the lake where guys didn't quite make it.
The youngest pilot trained here was a man named George Bush.
I love them. They're good.
Jackie Tobin and Marjorie Martin of Wheaton remember the soldiers and the drab military atmosphere that existed then.
In those miserable colorless outfits they wear.
Yes, my husband.
I mean, you know, if you have a beautiful...
He looked great in khaki.
Pardon me?
My husband looked great in khaki. He was in the Navy.
You mean he didn't look tacky in khaki?
No, he didn't look tacky in khaki.
Oh, I always went for the brass. I like something shiny.
I believe it, Marge.
Here's a shot from one of the brightest notes in Navy Pier history. Queen Elizabeth arrives at Navy Pier to greet ships. The cargo included cars, wood, oil, and more.
Chicago eventually became the greatest inland port in the world, and it was significant because the St. Lawrence Seaway opened in 1959, the same time that the 100-foot dock addition was put onto the pier, and it was commemorating the opening of a great inland port.
But competition from other ports and from the railroads eventually put Navy Pier out of the ship business. Rust dominated the structure during the 70s until the city revitalized it for the nation's bicentennial birthday. You may remember Chicago Fest. It sparked a rebirth that helped city leaders develop Navy Pier into the major tourist attraction it's become today.
And on the average, 10,000 people visit this place a day. And a lot of history to Navy Pier. That's all you can really fit in a couple of minutes. It was a little tough.
It's true. I like the ladies that you met.
Weren't they a lot of fun? I don't think they realized that they were on TV.
Yeah. Well, in its first season, 4.5 million people have come here to tour and take a look and enjoy the sights, and that makes our next guest extremely happy. He's the general manager of Navy Pier, in charge of running the show out here. John Clay, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, son.
It was interesting talking to you before. You have really been with this project since the very beginning. I mean, long before the dedication ceremonies, you were part of this.
Correct. I was hired in '89 to handle design and construction by our CEO, Jim Riley, and he asked me, once it was finished last year, he asked me to run it, which I was very happy to do. It's an exciting place to work. And
what was the major challenge in developing this into your goal?
Well, really, in the beginning of the design, the biggest challenge was to preserve the historical significance of the east end and the west end of the pier, the head house and the terminal buildings. The sheds were a big question, the old storage sheds. I mean, they had historical significance, but they really couldn't work well in designing a people place like the pier is today. So making a decision to get rid of the sheds and what to do between the two historical buildings was quite a challenge for the architects.
Now, I understand you were mentioning, tried to keep part of the foundation.
We did. The original pier was built on wood pilings that go some 85 feet deep, and then it was filled with land. What had happened is the sidewalls had decayed, so we had to repair the sidewalls. The pilings failed the test, so we had to put new concrete foundations in.
One of the interesting additions was the Crystal Garden. Tell us about that.
The Crystal Garden was and is intended to be a great public place on the pier, and has proved to be quite an attraction on that basis, especially in the winter. So it is the one place that's here for the public.
We're looking at some video right now. It looks like you've got all different kinds of plants and trees in there.
Yeah, and the dancing fountains, I love those up there.
Exactly. The fountains were a late addition when we were able to come up with the money for it, but it's proven to be the best attraction in the space.
Governor Edgar just had his birthday party there too.
And it went very well. That was just earlier this week, I believe, but about 750 people, and it was a nice evening.
John Clay, thank you for joining us. This is a fantastic place.
A great place to come to work every day too. I can't even imagine, people talk about wanting to have a window.
Right.
What a view.
Well, I'll tell you, the best thing too, Sunday I was here, it rained all day, but there's so much to do at the pier inside as well as outside. It was still packed and people were having a great time, so come on down.
Right. One of those things you can do on a rainy day is go to the Children's Museum, and that's where Joni is right now. Joni, good morning. Joni, can you hear us? She's having too much fun playing with the exhibits.
Hey, how are you? We're in the Children's Museum by a big mound of trash. It's one of the features here. And we're going to take you on a tour through the Children's Museum. Been open for about a year coming up.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
They'll help you get unhooked before you...
What's the matter, Joni?
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, we're going to get those technical bugs out and check in with Joni in a little bit, but first let's go over to Bill. Bill is exactly where?
Bill is slam dunking somewhere. Bill?
Basketball, he's found it out here. Bill?
Bill's warming up, he's stretching. You don't want to rush into a slam dunk contest without warming up. Why don't we go to break and check in with him when we come back.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the tide roll away. I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time.
Welcome back, everybody. There's your view of Skycam 9 of Navy Pier, and that's where our show is originating today. You're listening to the wonderful sounds of Pier Pressure. That band is one of a few bands that they have out here. It's free entertainment. I know a lot of you have heard about Skyline Stage and some of the events there. There's a lot of free entertainment here. Pier Pressure performs 5 days a week, and they go all along the pier. Usually they start at about 1 o'clock, they told me. So when I walked over there to meet them this morning, they were like, woo, it's early morning. But they sound wonderful.
We'll be hearing from an a cappella group that each member of the group plays a different character, kind of an interesting twist. They also have jugglers and clowns and all kinds of stuff out here. And finally, I guess Bill is ready. He is done warming up with his stretches. Bill?
Yeah, that's right, Larry, Sonia. I don't know if Robin can see me up here. I'm down at the very far end of the pier. I don't know if I should be worried about that sort of thing. Maybe they're trying to tell me something. What a glorious day. I tell you, we luck out with these things every time we do them. I'm down here for not only because they didn't want me near them, but there's also the NBA, this Slam Jam session truck over here, which we're going to show you in a second. It's this interactive NBA deal, and it's very cool. But first, we're going to do sports for you. And in the spirit of the pier, you know, we were thinking, after being in Atlanta, we think that Chicago could really pull off the Olympic Games much better than Atlanta. No knock against those folks down south, but I think we could really do it. And if that were ever the case, if we were successful in our bid to get the games here in, say, like 2008, they could hold the swimming right here at the pier. Like 800-meter relays, you know, out to the lighthouse and back. But at least for right now, they're still holding the swimming in Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia Tech Aqua Center, the natatorium here. Women's all around, they just are killing in the pool. There's your 4x800 relay, much to the delight of the guy from Arkansas. The women now 5 for 5 in the gold. As far as the all-around individual gymnastics, disappointing night for Dominique Dawes of America. She stumbles there on the floor exercise. Shannon Miller, Dominique Mociano also bobbled their routine, which opened the yellow medal road for Ukraine's Lilia Podkapayeva, who gets the top prize with a flawless vault. As far as back in the pool goes, the 800-meter freestyle, Janet Evans' final race, the swan song, all eyes on her, but it was Brooke Bennett, the young 16-year-old American, who went away with the gold. Evans did not medal in that round, came in 7th or 8th, I believe. So disappointing final race, but a great start to a career for Brooke Bennett. Other Olympic news, heavyweight boxer Nate Jones finally got his turn in the ring, and the Chicago native did well against Foala Okasala of Great Britain. He advances to the quarters. No such fortunes for the rest of the Illinois contingent. Beach volleyballer Nancy Reno and Holly McPeak, they lost to the Aussie team. Still have a shot at a medal, though. Badminton star Linda French and her partner were waxed by the duo from Denmark, and cyclist Bill Clay of Vernon Hills lost twice at the track. Dream teamers, though, the ladies, boy, they just rolled on, beating Zaire by 60 points in that one. Track and field starts later on today. Michael Johnson makes his first appearance down in Atlanta. Well, baseball now, and you know, unlike the Olympic Games, they play the Star-Spangled Banner at the beginning of the game. Regardless of that, though, lately the White Sox have been getting misty at the end of the game. Has nothing to do with the anthem, has everything to do with the scores. They lost 4 in a row. This one last night in extra innings against those Texas Rangers. Another Maalox moment for Bev Juan Gonzalez, putting the gone back in Gonzalez, a 2-run crank there. And then in the 12th inning, this sacrifice fly by Darrell Hamilton, not very stupendous by way of by virtue of highlight material, but Warren Newsom, the former Sock, would score, and the Rangers win 4-3. The Cubs, though, meanwhile, in the rare air of Coors Field, Dante Bichette is at the plate, base is full. The shot, you know that's getting out of there in that high air. No, Sammy Sosa, oh my goodness. Grand larceny there. 9th inning, though, score tied 8-8. Scott Servais the strikeout, but you can't drop that third strike. The wild pitch by Bruce Ruffin. Mark Grace gives the go-ahead run there. Cubs win. Cubs win 10-8. Well, at the Ameritech Senior Open out there in Kemper Lakes, Michael Jordan, as part of the Celebrity Pro-Am yesterday, shot a 3 over 75. That's a great round for Mike, who is spending his days, and, well, he probably doesn't have to spend any money on greens fees. He gets those free. regardless of his $30 million. But speaking of Michael and the rest of the NBA guys, you know, it's the off season, but that doesn't stop the NBA Jam session from going on. Dewan, good to meet you, sir.
How you doing this morning, Bill?
This is Dewan. He travels with this. What is this? Kind of like an interactive traveling road show deal,
Yes,
huh?
it's the ultimate basketball theme park, I guess you could say. It's put together by American Express and Flair basketball trading cards.
Okay.
They're the sponsor of it, and it's all free. It's for the public, you know, so you can come out, have a good time, and dream big.
Now, you guys are just going to be here tonight, right?
Yes, we're going to be here tonight.
So you got to get here if you want to play with this stuff. And show me around. Let's go up the stairs here real quick. Yeah, we've got, it looks like you've got some video games and what else?
Yeah, we have a little bit of something for everybody here. We got the first thing you come up on the truck, you got to get a grip. A lot of people don't get a chance to come close to professional players, so right here we have imprints of their hands.
Oh, okay.
You know, you might want to try. We even have your own Scotty.
Look at that. We got Pippen right there.
As you can see, can you
as the Bulls music starts. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. I got the hands of a child.
Right on the back here, we got something. We have computers here.
Oh, do you?
On CD-ROM and everything. You want to learn a little bit about the NBA?
NBA Online, all right.
We have jerseys, pictures, statistics.
Okay. Get a shot back there, Tom, if you can. This is really neat. And then you even got, what is that? Nintendo. So you can play a little. Okay, well, you got this stuff, but you know, you can play this stuff at home. Let's go with Dunk.
All right. You're going to show us what you got, right?
I want to see what you got first, and then maybe, you know, I don't want to put you to shame being that this is your truck.
9-foot rim, you know, we have 7-foot, 8-foot, and 9-foot rims for everybody out here. Those moves you see Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen doing, you can do them yourself right here.
Okay.
You know, I think I'll let you do it because I might hurt myself on this outfit.
Okay.
But I'll let you.
All right, Tom, now the key to this, I'm going to let you commentate here. We're going to swap places.
Okay, I'm used to doing that. All right.
Tom, I want you to get a quick, just ISO on the net. So we have no really pointed perspective as to where my feet are coming from.
All right, Bill. He's getting ready to take off now. But show us what you got. It's for everybody. Dream big, baby. That's what you do here at the jam session.
Should I move up to the next one?
Hey, I think you should. You warmed up now. Bill.
Keep my day job.
Yeah, there you go, Bill. On the other side, we have a three-point area, and on the back of the truck, we also have free throws. So we have a little bit of something for everybody out here.
All right, we'll come out and see it before 7 o'clock tonight, before they move out. Yeah. All right, we're going to go to a break right now. Come back. We've got a ton more fun stuff from Navy Pier. You feel like swimming? You want to take a few laps?
I might. Okay. You might be able to talk a little bit.
We're going to do the backstroke. We'll be back in a second, folks.
Wish your tired feet was fireproof under the boardwalk down by the sea, on a blanket with my babies, where I'll be under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Man, I will be having some fun.
You're watching Chicago's very own WGN Morning News.
Welcome back, everybody. It is 7:30 and 63 degrees outside, and a beautiful day, as we've been saying this morning, and a great view of the city from Navy Pier.
And much more ahead this half hour. We're going to introduce you to one of the bands that provides free entertainment out here. Peer Pressure. Get it? P-I-E-R.
Very good. So clever.
So they'll be coming up. But first, let's check in with Roseanne and get the day's headlines. Roseanne?
Thanks, Larry and Sonia. Our top stories at this hour, a split-second sound followed by silence. That's the final recorded moment of TWA Flight 800 from the plane's black boxes. Investigators say it's further evidence that a bomb may have blown that jetliner out of the sky. A judge has spared the life of Amanda Wallace, who was convicted of hanging her 3-year-old son. Judge Michael Bolton sentenced Wallace to life in prison without parole. The judge noted her troubled past and said sentencing Wallace to death would not serve the values of society. Here's a new reason to quit smoking, especially if you're around babies. A study in Great Britain found 60% of sudden infant death syndrome cases are caused by exposure to tobacco smoke before or after birth. This is the first study linking SIDS with smoking. 19 South Korean soldiers are dead after a huge mudslide slammed into barracks while they were sleeping. That incident occurred at a base near the North Korean border. Military officials say the mudslide was triggered by heavy rains. A new study finds a record number of people earn their high school diploma by taking the GED test. The American Council on Education says 500,000 people passed that test last year, and that is the largest number since the test began in 1943 to help World War II veterans earn high school credit. And now it's 7:32, time for a check of the traffic situation with Robin out in Skycam 9. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Roseanne. A beautiful view this morning. As you can see out my window, we're flying over the lake. We have a great shot of the skyline behind me, flying over Navy Pier, but unfortunately, the view not so great if you're sitting on the Edens this morning. Let's give you a shot of the pier as we talk about some bad news on the outbound Edens. A couple of accidents at Old Orchard, both on the shoulder, but it's jammed from Montrose all the way up to the scene, making it 55 minutes up to Lake Hook Road. Let's show you the other travel times to give you an idea how things are holding up. The Kennedy coming in looks like the usual stuff. You can pretty much phone in the delays this morning. Canfield all the way into downtown. Outbound just as bad. The Edens inbound not too bad. About 30 minutes in from Lake Hook, but as mentioned, the outbound trip almost an hour. The Eisenhower 55 pretty much either way between 53 and downtown. Stevenson a rough ride this morning as well. Just shy of an hour in from 294. Your Dan Ryan a 30-minute trip in from 95th. And quickly, let's take a look at the travel cast. If you're traveling this weekend, here's something of interest. As of Saturday, tomorrow, July 27th, the Calumet Expressway will officially change its name. It's the Bishop Ford Freeway. You might remember a couple of months ago they voted on this. The Southside Bishop, who's pretty famous, and I guess they named it a while ago, and now officially as of midnight tonight, it changes to be called the Bishop Ford Freeway. So I'm going to have to work that into my repertoire. I'm so used to saying the same old thing.
Fogfest on the Bishop Ford Freeway.
That's right.
Thanks a lot, Robin. And now a check of the weather. And Paul, you're the good news man today.
Yep, always nice to be the messenger on a day like today. A gorgeous day for a remote broadcaster, just about anything. We've got this Navy Pier thing covered. Here's another angle for you. You can see the Ferris wheel right there. A pretty morning. The gulls think so too. Right now with that sunshine, 63 degrees at O'Hare Airport. It's 66 currently at the lakefront, 61 at Waukegan, 64 at Milwaukee. Temperatures around the region generally upper 50s to lower 60s just about anywhere you want to look. Dew points that measure moisture in the atmosphere, actually this is a wider look at temperatures, and you can see in the 50s, as cool as 53 right now at Duluth, Minnesota, and those dew points are on the chilly side for sure. You can see this is dry air. This is comfortable air, kind of stuff we often get in September. A west to northwest wind today is an offshore wind, so we won't have a lot of wave action, but signs that our winds will turn into the east as we head into later today and especially tomorrow. And that's all out ahead of this next weather system, which is moving slowly in this direction. This may bring some clouds in here as we move into as early as tonight, but especially tomorrow I think you'll notice the increase in those clouds and some precipitation. Look at the thunderstorms right now. Southern Kansas winding their way up through parts of Oklahoma, even spreading as far east some lighter showers as Kansas City, and some of this will try to work its way in our direction over the next day or so, but most of this I think will stay to our south. Here's the high pressure that brings us the beautiful morning out there. It's sliding off to the east. Winds will turn around into the southeast. Behind it, we'll see a few more clouds moving in here by later tomorrow, and by Sunday I think more cloud cover. The weekend not a washout, but we'll see some clouds and maybe a chance of showers. Our best chance for rain will come early next week, Monday and Tuesday. In the meantime, highs today and tomorrow will be in the 70s, and signs in the upper air pattern that this may form what we call a cutout low. That would keep us cool and rather wet, it appears, as we head into next week. Not today, though. The daycast calling for plenty in the way of sunshine. Our high near 78 degrees, northwest winds at 5 to 15. It doesn't get any better than this. And Sonia, Larry, make your checks payable to me and just drop them in the mailbox.
The Paul Huttner Foundation, of course.
Yes, my favorite. It's a great cause.
Yes, thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Well, when we come back from a break, we're going to be listening to the band. They are just one of the groups that provide free entertainment out here. One of the individuals who does, though, is Mike. This man promises me that I can juggle this on my hand. Are you going to spin this ball on my finger?
I go.
All right. Sonia will be playing Saturdays from 2 to 4.
Thanks, Mike. We're going to talk to him in a few minutes. He also rides a unicycle, too.
He's a good teacher.
Yeah.
Multi-talented.
I'm so impressed. We'll be right back.
Joni will be at the Children's Museum.
That's right. Lots to see there. 3 floors it takes up in the front of the building. And guess what else Joni's going to do? You're seeing this little fact about the Ferris wheel. Joni's going up later on today. She's going to go to the top, too. Just one of the groups providing free entertainment out here. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you? Good morning.
Good, very good. Thank you.
Now, Scott, you're the leader. One of the things that I was looking at, I was amazed about, is your guitar. Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, it's a unique guitar that I had made by a great luthier in town named Brad Larson, and it's a style of guitar playing that allows me to play harmony and melody at the same time, you know. You know, so you can mix it up and do a lot of different things like that. It's a pianistic style.
That is really neat. Introduce us to everybody else.
Well, we have Kevin Pike on the alto saxophone. We've got Doug Brott on the drums back there. Patrick Williams playing the bass guitar.
And that guitar is kind of interesting, too. Patrick, I was asking you whether it was because I don't know a lot about musical instruments that I wouldn't recognize this, but you said people ask you all the time?
Oh, yeah. It's a lot like an acoustic bass. It just doesn't have the big resonating chamber. It's just like an acoustic bass.
Let us hear a little bit of what it sounds like. Great. Now, you all play all around Chicago, but you're here 5 days a week, starting at what time?
We usually start about 1:45 is our first set, and we play till about 7:30. And like you say, we play up and down the pier 4 sets a day, and we play a lot of great music from the great American jazz composers, Duke Ellington, Thelonious Monk. I mean, great pop music like Marvin Gaye and James Brown. We really get a great variety, and you know, the people of Chicago and all the tourists really like it. It's a great chance for us to come out and really play.
I've had the chance to hear you play. You're wonderful. What are you going to play for us this morning?
We're going to do a song written by Kenny Dorham, and it's a bossa nova tune called Blue Bossa.
Wonderful. Thanks. Through Peer Pressure. Welcome back, everyone. Time now, 7:46, 63 degrees, and you're hearing a little bit more from Pier Pressure. And if you notice that they're dressed in the attire of the old dock workers.
Oh, is that
That's
what it is?
the
Okay.
theme, yeah. I love watching Scott play that guitar, though. That is really neat how he can play both. Look at me, like I'm playing.
Good weather, good music, but there seems to be something missing. We need, you know what we should do? We should make the crew dress in sailor attire. Mike, you know, let's try this out on Mike. He'd be good.
Captain Larry, coming aboard.
Permission to come aboard there, Mr. Higgins.
You and I have to swap the decks now?
Try this on, yeah.
You know, we couldn't
Oh,
do a
yeah.
show without
That's
Mike
you.
being here.
Now you can join the Village People Revival.
I want to be Gilligan.
Yeah, there you go. Gilligan.
That looks good.
Hey, little buddy.
Very good.
Great.
All right, I'm going to proceed.
Okay.
Now you can take over.
Permission to leave the ship.
Permission granted.
All right, thank you.
A lot of new attractions out here this year. I want to point out, though, we're sitting almost right in front of Odyssey, one of the several dinner cruises.
Can we get us,
one of the
Adrian, can you
boats
get a
that
shot of the
take.
Odyssey?
I think Lori's going to be able to
Lori's
get
got
that
it?
for us. Great.
Yeah.
And there's so many, there are also other sightseeing boats that leave. I believe for your package.
Shoreline sightseeing took us around. Boy, they move very quickly, too. It's a great way to see the skyline. I took my mom on that Sunday brunch, the jazz brunch they have there on the
Oh,
Odyssey.
really?
A lot of
Did she
fun.
enjoy it?
Oh, yeah. You go on the roof, on the deck there up top and look at the skyline. It's great.
Also new this year, there's a shuttle between Navy Pier and the Shed Aquarium. So that's really nice. If you're coming down with the family and you want to do both things rather than have to drive and park in between, you can just go by boat over there.
Great
which is
idea.
really
And
neat.
I think that's what Bill is doing right now. Are you on board, Bill?
He's on board Sea Dog, right?
I'm right by the Sea Dog, but how do you like this? You know, they actually recommended that I wear this on the set. It looks so sporty. Isn't this cool? Remember these when you were a kid? You know, the biggest, there's no way to look cool wearing one of these
That's
things. But they save lives, kids, so put them on. Yeah, we are by the Sea Dog. As you mentioned, several boats here. Ironically, that was my nickname in college. But we're actually going to talk to some folks here. This is Captain Big Dog Bill. Permission to come aboard, sir? Oh, thanks very much. Hop over. Try not to fall in the water. Now this is, right here, another kind of Mike Higgins. This is not our Mike Higgins. This is Mike Higgins, one of the guys from Odyssey Cruises and the Sea Dog. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome aboard the Dog.
Thanks. How come you're not wearing one of these dorky life things?
You know what? They put me in the office. These guys get to do the fun stuff all day long.
Okay, all right. Well, tell me a little bit about the boat here. It's the fastest, biggest speedboat?
Biggest, fastest boat on the Great Lakes right here. Navy Pier is such an incredible place, Bill, that last year we said, what could we do to have people enjoy the pier more? We came up with, people love going fast, let's build a huge speedboat. This boat right here was built over the winter out in Tuckahoe, New Jersey. Goes about 50 miles an hour, and we brought it here to Chicago, and we do about 15 cruises a day on this thing, every hour on the half hour, and we just take people out, we let them go fast, get them a little wet, and give them a beautiful view of the beautiful city of Chicago.
All right, well, we're going to take a look around here, and you know, in addition to this boat, the Sea Dog, as I go up to the bridge, there's also the more wind-powered version, if you prefer the more laid-back tour of the lake, and we have a little videotape of that right now. Everyone knows it's windy.
This is actually the American schooner rig, which was popular at the end of, at one time, the largest wooden ship in the world that we know of was here in the Great Lakes, the David W. Downes, which was a 5-masted schooner. And she would outrun some of the, if there was a decent breeze out, she'd outrun the steamers of her day. One of the aspects that made America great is that we had this great ocean between us and primarily Europe in the early days, and everybody had to spend 30 days on the ocean. Everybody went through 3rd grade and talked about Columbus, Magellan. The concept of Yankee ingenuity stems from that there, and although it seems to be lacking on a number of our youth today. So. Coming about! Coming about! That means we'll be heading up into the wind and sails will all shake loose. Stand by to hoist sail! Stand by to hoist sail! Hoist the foresail! Oh, you lazy swabbies, let's get it up! We like to think of this not as a ride, but as an experience. We get the guests to participate and yell out the commands too, all the way up and down the boat, which adds to the drama. We typically travel about half the speed of the wind. The schooner principle was that they made a sailboat as big as they could find trees. And once they didn't find any more trees, they then just added a mast to it. and that's what the schooner principle as such. Okay, good to have you aboard. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Alrighty, all you fleas, we're about ready to take the leash off the dog and take it out for a run. Because I'm telling you right now, the dog needs a bath, and we're going out to give it a flea bath. Woof, woof, woof. Are coming off of here, I get them wet. The kids especially love to get wet. And I bury the nose of the boat, but we get a little rough seas out there, and they're coming off just loving it. You get up on top of a wave, and she jumps off the top. People comes out of the stomach. It was unbelievably a lot of fun out here. How was your ride on the Sea Dog? Did you have a good time?
Well, here we are back live on the Sea Dog. This is Captain Big Dog Bill. Give us that bark again. Woof, woof. This must be a pretty fun gig, just tooling around the harbor and showing out the city.
It's the best job I've ever had in my life.
Yeah?
Great time.
Can you pull a skier behind this thing?
We could pull a dozen skiers behind this thing.
So we can get Larry and Sonia and Robin, we can get the whole crew behind the Sea Dog.
Well, let's go. Let's
do like Tommy Bartlett's water show, like in the Wisconsin Dells.
Please on here.
Yeah, exactly. Enough yakking, Larry and Sonia. We're going to crank this thing up. We're going to kick it back to you after we get one more bark from the Big Dog. Woof, woof, woof. All right, get it.
Oh, gosh.
We'll have to practice our bark.
Yeah. Can you water ski at all, though?
I have no clue.
I know.
No idea.
I was getting ready to say, I'll have to be sitting, and we'll pull you guys from behind. That looks like so much fun, though. I'd love that. Are they going to come past us?
Yeah, I can see them down there.
Okay. They're gone. Boy, what a lot of fun. That's really neat. I like the Wendy, too, on the schooner, getting up, and, I mean, that looks like that would be a lot of fun for kids. Call out the commands.
Yeah.
There they go. Oh, wow.
Boy, they're moving. And
what did he say, 45 miles an hour, I think?
Yeah, they'll be in Indiana in about 7 minutes.
What a nice boat. And I think it's available that you can, I think he said this too, that you can rent it out. Nice little party.
Rent it out for parties. Boy, that would be a fun party.
Wouldn't that be great?
Hey, take a look at this. This is, we talked about the history of Navy Pier. It's been a Chicago landmark for 80 years, and this is a book. They just got their new shipment in. Talks about the history dating back to 1909. A lot of the black and white photos in here. Very interesting to look at if you want to pick it up.
You know what I was amazed about? It was finally built in 1916, and it cost $4.5 million, which is a lot of money today.
Sure.
But it had to seem like a whole lot of money way back then. You know, I mean, 4.5 million, quite a bit. But we're enjoying our time here, though.
Yes, we're having a fun time. We're going to see a lot of the free exhibits. One of them is an a cappella group, and I mentioned the Village People a little bit earlier. It kind of reminds me of that. They all dress in a different kind of character, and we'll talk to them coming up a little bit later.
That's right. And, of course, we'll show you the Ferris wheel. That's the attraction that everybody can see. And we should tell people once again, if you're not exactly sure where we are, if you're coming in off Lakeshore Drive,
look for the Ferris wheel.
Right, look for the Ferris wheel. And the exit would be Grand Avenue and Illinois. And you can't miss it because the signs are very, very clear. Little brown signs direct you right here. This is great. I've got a good shot of Bill from here.
Yeah, we've got Sea Dog 9 and we've got Skycam 9 overhead.
And so much more. I keep waiting. Is he going to buzz past here? There's Robin up there.
Here's the overhead view from Skycam 9. I wonder if hey, Lori, can we get a shot of Skycam 9? Maybe we'll get that a little bit later.
Yeah. We'll be right back, everyone, with lots more from Navy Pier.
And welcome back. Let's toss it out to Joni, who is at the Children's Museum. Joni?
Hey, we finally made it inside. The Children's Museum is a great place to play, especially after hours, and we'll show you why in just a moment. We're over by the schooner, which is a huge attraction here at the Chicago Children's Museum, and I've got Diane Sauter with us this morning to talk about it. Kids already, I mean, they just take off of this thing, don't they?
Kids walk in, they see this schooner boat, they know it's for them, and we learn a lot about kids and the way they approach problem solving. I think they go away with an I can do attitude at Chicago Children's Museum.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I've brought kids here. They're a little bit afraid when they're going up, but then they have this confidence at the end.
That's right, and it's like a good story. They want to do it over and over again.
We should say there are 3 levels to this, so you get a good view of the entire museum. This is like, you know, swab the deck level. And you can go below.
That's right, and it's our very first summer on the pier, and we're having a wonderful time, and I think families coming to the museum are having a great time too.
That's great. We're also right near an exhibit that, boy, sure was inviting when we first got here so early in the morning. Tell us about this one.
Well, this is Night Journeys, and it's an adventure of sleep and dreams, and we have 3 girls in the giant bed.
What usually happens here? Kids taking naps? I don't think so.
I think they might have spent the night last night in Chicago Children's Museum.
Were you guys locked in the museum last night? They're still kind of sleepy. What's going on over there, the lullabies?
Right. Well, here kids can learn a lot about sleep and dreams from around the world. They can learn about stories, tell stories as well.
This little thing here, you can press each country and hear what a mother might sing to her baby in that country.
Right, little lullabies from around the world. And at Chicago Children's Museum, we really focus on kids and adults sharing adventures together.
Now you have an arts thing downstairs where kids can make little projects.
We have an art studio on the first level, and actually right now in the art studio, in conjunction with this exhibit, there's a couple of things that kids can make. We have right here a sock puppet that's a night protector, and this sock puppet will eat your bad dreams and keep those imaginary monsters away.
And you sleep with that.
And then Victoria has on, let's see, she has on a nightshirt that we made in the art studio, and this is in conjunction with Fruit of the Loom, and on Saturday afternoons, boys and girls can tie-dye or use fabric crayons and make their own nightshirts to sleep in as well.
What a beautiful model you are. You know, that looks like a Van Gogh on your t-shirt. The Chicago Children's Museum opened when?
The Chicago Children's Museum opened here last fall.
And this is the hours now? Or?
And the hours were open 7 days a week from 10 to 5, and on Thursday it's our Jewel Osco free family night, and we're open free from 5 to 8.
Great. Thank you so much, Diane Sauter with the Chicago Children's Museum. You know, even adults have fun here. I've come here again and again with different sets of kids. Great time for everybody. Sonia, Larry?
It sure is, and what a huge place, too. I mean, 3 floors of stuff. Thanks, Joni.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Sonia Gant. We're having fun here at Navy Pier, being tourists in our own town.
Oh, good morning, Chicago. Oh, I'm trying to get my sea legs. I think I got a hold of some bad clams. We've got Olympic highlights coming up for you and show you one of the classiest restaurants on the pier. Oh, I should be hungry by then.
Good morning, Chicago. I'm Robin Baumgarten with traffic and Skycam 9 hovering above Navy Pier. We're buzzing the crew. I'll have more coming up.
And good morning, Chicago. I'm Paul Huttner with weather. Another day in weather paradise here. They just keep coming. How long? I'll have the details in weather.
And good morning, Chicago. I'm Larry Potash. It's not a day at the beach. It's even better. It's a day at Navy Pier. So stay tuned to the second hour of WGN Morning News this Friday, July 26th.
Live from Chicago's very own Larry Potash, Sonia Gant, Joni Lum, Bill Weir, Roseanne Teas, Paul Huttner, Robin Baumgarten, and Sam Rubin live from Hollywood. This is WGN Morning News.
Welcome back, everyone. We're giving you a tour of Navy Pier today. If you've never been here, lots to see. One suggestion I would have for you, though, the night that I came, I forgot how much cooler it is by the lake.
Right.
You know, we hear that all the time. So if you're coming down, be sure to bring a sweater, especially if you're coming at night.
But right now, I think we need like an SPF 35 because that sun is coming right down on us, and it feels great, though. The weather is beautiful out here this morning. Maybe something to get us going into the second hour. How about a little cheer from Sally Ross? Sally, why don't you come out here? She is with the Navy Pier players.
It's I. Ready? Okay. Give me a W. Join in.
Oh, give me G. G. Oh.
Give me a G. G. I got your G. I got your G. Give me an N. N. I got your N. I got your N. What does that spell?
WGN.
Woo!
Very good.
We got to explain, Sally Rod just doesn't walk up and down doing cheers. She's part of the Navy Pier players.
Navy Pier players, an a cappella group, but as most theater people do, she is always in character, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I have a character, aren't I? Yeah. I'm the most.
You are.
You are too. You know, you can be, because I say so.
Okay. Thanks, Sally.
Okay.
Thanks. We'll catch up with you a little bit later.
BYE.
Some of the free entertainment that you can catch down here. We showed you a band in the first hour, and Larry's going to be talking with the players. And
that's
boy,
right.
They are cast of characters over there.
Right, and ladies, if you like a man in uniform, we've got Admiral Gino. Doesn't really strike fear in your heart as military things go, but should be very entertaining.
Yeah. The Ferris wheel, many of you have seen it. One thing I didn't know, I've never ridden on the Ferris wheel, but they give you kind of a history of Chicago as you're going up.
Oh, really?
So you know when you're stopping, picking up passengers, each of the units is outfitted with a recorder, so you can hear some of the history of Navy Pier and of the Ferris wheel itself.
150 feet high, and even though Navy Pier is a landmark, it's kind of become a landmark itself.
It sure has. Joni's going to be going up to the top. We hope she's going to get all the way up there, and she's going to give us the view from there. Great place to bring tourists to get a nice picture of Chicago and just the skyline. I was mentioning how we used to go over to the planetarium and take people out and look back, but this is a fabulous view from here. It's wonderful.
First, let's check the news with Roseanne. Good morning, Roseanne.
Good morning, Larry and Sonia. Our top stories this morning, investigators are now focusing on a bomb, not mechanical failure, as the cause of that TWA air disaster. A source close to the investigation says that is the talk after officials listened to the cockpit voice recorder yesterday. The final recorded moment of Flight 800 was a quick sound followed by silence. But investigators aren't yet speculating publicly about what that sound is. They say more testing on both flight recorders is needed.
Recovery of data from the last few seconds of the tape is difficult because the tape was contaminated by its immersion. It is expected that all of the recorded data will be recovered.
President Clinton announced new measures to improve airport security yesterday. More luggage will now be hand searched, and a new pre-flight inspection will be mandatory for international flights. Chicago police are releasing few details about the identities of two bodies found in a Gold Coast apartment. The badly decomposed bodies of two females were discovered yesterday in a ground floor studio at 1430 North Dearborn Street. Police say it appears one of the victims was a child. They were led to the bodies after a tenant complained about a bad odor coming from the apartment. Thank you, Judge. Those were the only words from Amanda Wallace after a judge spared her life. Last night, Wallace was sentenced to life in prison without parole for hanging her 3-year-old son, Joseph. Wallace could have received the death penalty, but Judge Michael Boland noted Wallace's troubled past and said sentencing her to death does not serve the values of society. Security is being stepped up at the popular Crowbar nightclub in Chicago after 6 people passed out from a drug called GHB. Police say the illegal drug may have been slipped in their drinks. GHB gives a user a feeling of euphoria, but mixing it with alcohol in sufficient quantities results in unconsciousness or even coma. All 6 victims were treated and released from area hospitals. In other top news this morning, Western leaders are condemning a military coup in the African nation of Burundi. Troops from the country's minority Tutsi tribe surrounded government buildings Tuesday night. The country's president from the rival majority Hutu tribe fled to the home of the U.S. ambassador. Tutsi leaders are calling on him to resign to avoid a bloodbath. There may be new hope for those disabled by spinal cord injuries. Scientists say they can now repair damaged spinal cords in rats using new surgical techniques and a special glue to hold transplanted nerves in place. But they warn applying the same technique to humans is still years away. A summer heat wave is feeding a giant wildfire near the border of Nevada and California. That blaze broke out in Plumas County, California yesterday, and it's already burned more than 1,200 acres of land. In Southern California, surf's up, way up. 25-foot waves are pounding the coast as a result of a storm off of Tahiti. They're hit with surfers, but the lifeguards say those waves can be dangerous. They're warning swimmers and surfers both to be extra careful or avoid the big surf altogether. But in our part, it's smooth sailing, Paul.
Absolutely, Roseanne. This is some of the finest weather that we get during the year. You know, the sun is out, it's fairly dry. The mosquitoes are way down from where they were about a month ago. Went to the park last night, the same park that had I gone a month ago, forget it. We were swarmed, we turned back and head for home. But with this kind of weather and the drier weather, good news on many fronts here in Chicagoland. Let's take a look at the harbor this morning in all its glory with the sunshine out there. Blue sky, not a cloud in the sky this morning. It is 68 degrees now. That's our updated temperature as you're getting going on this Friday. And that sun's so strong, it'll burn you in 20 minutes at 1 o'clock. If you want to get that sun, better to get out and do it earlier or later in the afternoon if you want to avoid burning, which I think most of us do. Temperatures right now, well, that's last hours. The computer has yet to ingest that new information and display it, but it is 68 at O'Hare. Trust me, I just checked the current reading. And in the daycast today, all day sunshine, wall to wall, border to border, maybe just a few of those fair weather cumulus puffing up again this afternoon. Our high about 78 degrees and a big, beautiful first quarter moon will be right overhead tonight about 9 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, expect a partly cloudy sky, another cool one. 58 by the time you're getting up. You may want to slide the extra blanket up and over tonight. And here's your 7-day forecast then. We are looking for that plenty of sun today, 78. But look at temperatures the next few days into the mid-70s and then low 70s. And then it looks like a cutoff low in the upper level of the atmosphere may stall over the Great Lakes. And that could bring us some prolonged rain along about Monday, Tuesday, along with highs only in the upper 60s to near 70. So it's going to be a very cool stretch, it looks like, as we head into early next week, but then things improve later on next week. So enjoy today. Might be the finest that we have for the next several days. The weekend doesn't look bad. Those showers will be just a slight chance, and I think most of them will be south. So you'll get in your round of golf or your picnic or whatever it is you have planned for the weekend. That's it from now. And you know what? I'm not sure who I'm tossing to.
It's us.
There you are. Hi.
It's a great day to stroll along Navy Pier too, Paul.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, this is the first time we've had a chance to see Robin at work in person.
I know.
Skycam 9 has been flying overhead. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Sonia and Larry. What a great view out here today. This is the first time we've gone this far east into the lake to give you a view of the skyline with Navy Pier. So let me show you what we've got. It's absolutely beautiful up here this morning. Sun is up and everything is right with the world when you're a traffic reporter hovering above Lake Michigan, that is. It doesn't get much better than this. Unfortunately, it could be a whole lot better if you're sitting on the Kennedy this morning. Let me show you the times you're dealing with. Coming in from O'Hare, a 40-minute venture outbound, it's just as bad. That inbound time climbing, because we now have a stall in the center lane at Montrose. The Eatonson from Lake Oak Road is only 30 minutes, but outbound it's about 60. That would be an hour, Robin. So it's heavy from Montrose all the way out to Old Orchard. A couple of accidents on the side. It's slow in the recovery process. The Eisenhower 55 either way. 23 in downtown. Stevenson still a rough ride. Heavy Route 83 into the Tri-State, and then Harlem most of the way into the Ryan. And the Dan Ryan, usual stuff, about 30 minutes in from 95th. Worth noting that the eastbound Elgin O'Hare Expressway, my favorite, a rough ride this morning. 40 minutes from Irving Park into Thorndale. People not avoiding it once again. Come on out to Navy Pier. Avoid all the mess. It is beautiful up here. Larry, Sonia?
All right. Thank you, Robin.
Well, the newest addition, or maybe we should say new attraction out here, is the WGN People Cam.
Yes, it kind of takes a little bit of explaining, and Joni is here to do that for us. Joni?
It is so exciting because we get to unveil this brand new attraction. So much to do at Navy Pier. Well, there's one more thing, and it is sponsored by WGN-TV. Take a look at our lovely model Mark with his lovely flannel shirt. He's about to do an unveiling of, ta-da, the WGN People Cam. Now, this was made by a man from Toronto, and we better let him tell us how it works.
Hi, my name is Ian Shamandi, and I'm here from UTV in Toronto to deliver this portable television studio to WGN. It's here at the Navy Pier. It's for everybody to record a message on anything they want or to answer the questions that are asked, and it's very simple to use. Just like I'm doing now, you stand in front of it and you press the green button to record and the red button to stop recording. It's as simple as that, and if you do that, you could end up on one of the WGN programs. This is the ultimate tool of democracy because it gives everybody the opportunity to speak their mind and to appear on television. And that, I think, is really cool.
Wow, what a flattering view. Maybe what we've learned so far is don't stand so close to the darn thing. Well, you know what? People Cam's been running for a couple of days now. We set it up, we ask people questions, and this is what the people are saying.
He needs to beef up law enforcement and stop cutting financial aid for students, because there are a lot of needy people out there who really need it.
Let's clean up the city.
Mayor Daley needs to hear that there needs to be more jobs for young people in the city, that the convention would be a good opportunity to employ young people and to make a good mark for the city.
You're doing a great job. Man. You're doing a great job, man.
Nice.
Oh, no, they're going to make you pay for this.
I don't care.
Sweet home Chicago! Yay! Chicago rocks! Woo!
Best thing that ever happened is that they gave Chicago, Navy Pier, best tourist attraction that you can imagine in the country.
Sometimes the best things about People Cam is when they don't say anything at all. Isn't that true? Well, maybe I should tell you what the questions were. If you can't think of something to say, we had a couple of questions programmed. They are, what is the one thing you'd like Mayor Daley to hear? And the other is, what's your favorite part of Chicago? Well, you know, I'm surprised that people didn't come up and say, is it a Coke machine? Can you get something out of it? We're going to try it right now and see how easy it is. Mark, a lovely flannel model, is going to try. I think all you do is push the green button, and it says move close and continue. It's not going to be me, it's going to be you. So you stand right here, just say yes, wait, and what are we going to say? 1098, it's going to give you a cue. Right. I think you should just record a message for WGN Morning News, and maybe it could air on our air. So ready? 2, 1.
What's the most important thing Mayor Daley needs to hear?
Press the green button to answer that one, or you can do your own message if you want.
Okay. Well, I'd like to say hello. Oh, wait. We have to wait. I'd like to say hello to everyone back at the studio making this show possible today. We're here from Navy Pier, and it's a great time.
We are having a lovely time. WGN Morning News rocks our world. Then you press that, and there's more to say. So this is one of the things that you want to do when you come to Navy Pier, and maybe, just maybe, you can get on TV. Sonia, Larry?
All right, thanks, Joni. I was waiting for Joni to vogue.
I know. Oh, I think some people were like, are we really on? I don't think they really thought it was recording. And we should say, Mark is a fabulous intern. He's one of our interns. He's so shy. Thought that was so nice. But we do want to say thanks to everybody who's making this possible.
That's right.
A lot of people working back at the station and out here, too. So you only see us, but tons of people behind us. Now, the person who's responsible for the Navy Pier players, for peer pressure, even for that new added attraction, I guess that would fall under your umbrella. Tom Garrity joins us this morning.
Good morning.
Skyline Stage, all the entertainment. You are a busy guy.
Especially during the summer, we keep a pretty busy schedule out here.
Yeah, your background though is you've worked in tons of theme parks all across.
I've been around, mainly up and down the East Coast, and good thing I have a lot of Chicago people on the team as well to give me the flavor of what's going on here, but I have been around to get the whole flavor of entertainment that we need to present for our guests.
So tell us, what is it that really characterizes Navy Pier, makes it different from some of the amusement parks?
Some of the other places. The number one thing that makes it different from an amusement park is that it's free, and there's no gate charge. charge, and you can come in and stay for a minute, an hour, a day, whatever it takes. The other thing is we have a lot of free entertainment. You'll see jugglers, balloon twisters. You'll see the rides. You can see our Pier players, the people cam that we were just at. You can play those tapes back on the morning news that you guys, I guess, will be tossing to Navy Pier every day without having to come out here.
That's right.
Tell us about the fireworks. You don't have to wait for Independence Day anymore.
No, there's a huge city fireworks on the 3rd, and of course Venetian night, but Navy Pier does fireworks every Saturday night throughout the summer. And then in August, we'll also be adding Thursday night as part of our party at the Pier. We have a big band out on stage 3, and we're running our pretty great fireworks show, again with a Chicago-specific soundtrack. It ends up with Johnny B and We're All Crazy, and it's a wild show that people really have a great time.
What's coming up on Skyline Stage?
As part of JVC Jazz Fest, we have 5 nights of jazz up there right now. We did, obviously, Richard Elliott 2 nights ago, and we have it coming through the weekend. We also have WNUA out there with Spyro Gyra. CKG is bringing BTO in for 2 days next month, and Magic City Kids Festival is going to have a long run up there with Bob McGrath and kids artists.
I understand you have a battleship coming, is that correct?
We have the Oliver Hazard Perry, a U.S. Navy frigate that will be available for tours coming on the 30th, 31st at the end of the month. We just had the Coast Guard Mackinac out here, Coast Guard Ice Cutter Mackinac, the largest ship on the Great Lakes, and that was really a great attraction for people to get out and see.
All right. Tom Garrity, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Busy guy and a wonderful office. Can I say that enough to everybody who comes out here? I'm like, gosh, what a great place to work.
Thanks.
Thanks
Come out
for
whenever you
stopping
want.
by.
Great.
Oh, we will.
And we should say that WGN People Cam will be here forever.
Right, a lot. And I hope those people who were out here and gave it the trial run yesterday, I hope they were watching and had a chance to see themselves.
Right.
So if you talk to the People Cam, be sure to watch the morning news because you might show up. You never know.
That's right.
Well, in the true WGN Morning News tradition, we have to eat on every show.
That's right. That's right.
A show can't go by without somebody eating.
And this is probably the top restaurant at Navy Pier. It's called Riva, and that's where Bill is right now. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Larry, Sonia. Yeah, you know, I went on that 40, 50 knot cruise on the Sea Dog. And they tell me, no, there's no better way to settle your stomach than with a Mai Tai at 8 a.m. But yeah, we're at Riva, and check out the menu. We're going to also throw down some some Alaskan king crab and the fruits of the sea. We're doing sports also coming up from Riva, so stick around. Just tons more from Navy Pier.
A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. Oh, slid me a slot from that wonderful mouth.
Welcome back to Navy Pier, everyone. A gorgeous, gorgeous morning, and right on cue, here comes the street sweeper. That's one of the beautiful things about Navy Pier is they keep it so clean. Good morning. How you doing? The guy has no clue he's on national television, and that's kind of fun. Let's do a little sports this morning, folks. As we have been doing since we arrived back from Atlanta, we want to get a flavor of all the nations, 197 different countries being represented for the Centennial Olympiad. And this morning, sports highlights brought to you by the national anthem of Cameroon.
Au Cameroun, berceau de nos ancêtres, va debout et jaloux de ta liberté. Comme un soleil, ton drapeau fier doit être un symbole ardent de foi et d'unité. Que tous tes enfants du nord au sud, de l'est à l'ouest soient tout amour.
Everybody, come on. Man, that is catchy, I tell you. Here's your medal count this morning. 32, the United States still in command of the medal count, although this is an individual competition. This is not about any in one country dominating, but since we're in first place, what the heck. 12 gold medals, 16 silver, and 4 bronze after 6 days of the Olympic Games. Russia trails in second place with 25 medals, 13 of them are gold, and France is in third with 22nd. There goes the beer truck. Here you go. Here's the rest of your highlights. This is the individual gymnastics all-around championships, and that beautiful young lady from Ukraine by the name of Lilia Podkapayeva wins the gold after the American stumble. In the pool, it is well, I'm losing my place here. The 50-meter freestyle, Alexander Popov beating Gary Hall in their clash that continues. Popov still dominates. And in the U.S. baseball, boy, did they go nuts. 5 home runs, 4 consecutive in the first inning to shell Japan 15-5. That is an Olympic record. So the red, white, and blue doing well on the diamond down there. Here's some other headlines for you this morning from the Olympics. Janet Evans does her swan song in the 800-meter freestyle, finishes 6th. So she does not tie Bonnie Blair as the most medal-laden U.S. female in Olympic history. But the United States was successful in that regardless anyway, as Brooke Bennett, the 16-year-old, goes on to win that event. Be like Michael Johnson. That's what everybody wants to be. One of the most anticipated races of these Olympiad. The track and field starts later today with the 400-meter qualifying heats. That's tonight. And the next victim up for the Dream Team, the Chinese. They get to go up against Scotty and Carl and Sir Charles and all that stuff tonight. Well, of course, the Bears are having a great time. Not as much fun as we are here at Navy Pier because, of course, they're in Platteville, Wisconsin for training camp. Eric Kramer had his first workout yesterday. They had a little minor scrimmage against the St. Louis Rams. Everything looks good up there. But hopefully they're doing better, well, than the Dolphins and the Chiefs. Check out this nice video here as things get a little heated, or Redskins and the Dolphins, rather. This is at training camp yesterday in Miami, and a little pile up right here. And then check out, our old favorite ex-Packer, Terrell Buckley, going at it with Mike Evans. Guys, please. The seasons last very long. Don't kill each other now. Perhaps sit by the pier and have one of these. Oh, I just spilled that all over myself. It'll help relax you, though. Tom, our camera guy, and myself are going to stand up, and we're going to walk over here, and we're going to meet with Phil Stefani, who is the owner of Riva Restaurant, who is our site of our sports guest this morning. Phil, good to see you, sir.
Good morning. Welcome early.
One of the most acclaimed restaurateurs in the city. Everybody knows Phil.
Chef George Pesic.
Hi, Jeff, or George, rather. Good to meet you, sir. Thanks for getting up early. Now, look at this spread. Are you kidding me? I was telling Phil earlier, I spent 4th of July in the upstairs portion of your restaurant to watch the fireworks, and man, the clam chowder is fantastic. The entrees were great. How has business been, and with the success of Navy Pier?
We opened the restaurant in August after the construction, and the crowds have been tremendous. And the main concern was how the restaurant would be during the winter, and we survived the winter with no problem. I mean, there's valet parking right downstairs. You pull right in. If it's raining or snowing, you can't get wet. You walk right upstairs. It's the view. What can I say? I mean, you guys shoot it every day.
Yeah, that's right.
There's not a bad seat in the house. I mean,
exactly. And now you also, as we mentioned, fireworks every Thursday and Saturday now, too.
Right. So from upstairs or from our outdoor patio here, you can see the fireworks on Thursdays and Saturdays. And but you got to come for the food. That's what it's all about.
Of course. Let's bring George in here, the chef, of course. Now, are these actual, real, genuine Lake Michigan Alaskan king crabs?
Not exactly Lake Michigan king crab, but it's a real thing. It's not plastic. It's a king crab. Got some snipers, salmon, live lobster. Got the Mediterranean langostinos. Got the Dungeness crab, of course.
Okay.
And then our chops.
Beautiful. It's a breakfast of champions right here.
And the lobster is live.
He is. Is he still kicking?
He's still kicking there.
Here you go. Let's do an interview with the lobster. How do you feel? Not good. Okay, well, this is Riva Restaurant down on Navy Pier. Fine dining upstairs, cafe outstairs, beer garden down there. Phil, George, thanks for getting up this morning.
Thank you.
We'll kick it back to Larry and Sonia, I think, or maybe perhaps we'll go to...
Why not? Thanks. I don't know if you mentioned this, Bill, but they also serve ostrich at Riva.
You guys serve ostrich here, too? Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Right.
Fruit of the sea and fruit of the desert.
Yes, if you get that craving. I know Captain Don is a big fan of ostrich sandwiches.
You knew that because they came to the station, right? Didn't they come and bring food one time?
It was pretty good. It tasted like chicken, I think.
I wanted to mention, too, if you came last season, there are 2 new cafes. The Crystal Gardens room, which is behind us near the Children's Museum, they have a new cafe, and then Dock Street Cafe is a little bit further down from Riva. So plenty of places to eat out here.
We were talking about the Skyline Stage earlier. One of the things that we didn't mention, Bill Maher, comedian, will be here in August, who does that show Politically Incorrect, if you've ever seen that very funny show. So he'll be here, and B.B. King will be here as well.
All right, great. Much more from Navy Pier when we come back.
Life walked these streets in a carnival of sights.
You're watching Chicago's very own WGN Morning News.
Good morning and welcome back. We're here at Navy Pier. There's a beautiful shot from Skycam 9 of the Ferris wheel. Beautiful day here at Navy Pier, but first, let's go to Roseanne in the studio with the headlines. Good morning, Roseanne.
Good morning, Larry and Sonia. In the headlines this morning, a mysterious split-second sound followed by silence has brought investigators closer to concluding that a bomb blew up TWA Flight 800. The noise was detected on the 747's voice recorder. Police are trying to determine how 6 people overdosed at a popular Northside dance spot. Hospital officials say they ingested a drug known as GHB at the Crowbar nightclub. All of the victims have been treated and released. The UN is making plans to dispatch forces to Burundi to head off possible escalation in tribal warfare there. U.S. military officials are working with the UN on contingency plans just in case military intervention is the only hope of heading off human slaughter there. A new study finds that more than 60% of sudden death syndrome cases may be caused by exposure to tobacco smoke. The study in tomorrow's edition of the British Medical Journal says babies are at greater risk of SIDS if they're exposed to smoke before or after birth. Tropical storm Cesar is bearing down on the southwestern Caribbean. The National Hurricane Center says heavy rains from the storm could bring mudslides and floods to the region. And Paul Huttner and I holding down the fort here at the studio while everybody's out at Navy Pier. And Paul, you out in the backyard?
I am, Roseanne, standing by, and the beat goes on here with our lovely paradise-like weather. We've got another beautiful day on the way, and it looks like at least the first part of the weekend will be really nice as well. Down in Atlanta, our friends for the Olympics will have a day a lot like yesterday. They had a high of 85 yesterday, about 88 today with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. So not bad down there for the Atlanta. It can get well into the 90s this time of year. 73 down there right now, 63 here in Chicago. Well, that was last hour's reading, but look up to the north. It is in the 50s just north of the border, and that cooler air spilling in this direction as we go through the next few days. The daycast today, I'm looking for all-day sunshine and a big first quarter moon out there tonight. 78 for the high, northwest winds 5 to 15. Our sunset now, 8:15. Here's a look at what I'm expecting tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy skies, that extra blanket required. 58, plenty of sunshine to start the day tomorrow. But then we may see some more clouds as we go through the day, and by afternoon or evening, just the barest chance of a shower. I think most of it will be to our south. If you're headed down towards Springfield or Decatur, a better chance for rain. But our chances for rain will increase, especially from Sunday night into Monday and Tuesday, as an upper-level storm stalls, it appears, over the Great Lakes. And that'll keep us cool with winds coming off the lake and a pretty good threat for rain the first part of next week before we warm back up again. This normally about our hottest day of the year here in Chicagoland. Our average high today, 84 degrees, and we're nowhere near that today, nor will we be for the next week. Good news, I guess, if you don't like the hot stuff, but a little cool by early next week. We might hear some grumbles about when's it going to warm up. It will the end of next week. Sonia? Larry?
Well, you said 84, but just to clear things up, if you're sitting under stage lights, it'll be about 98 today.
That's right. Did they provide you with that SPF 48 factor?
That's right.
We need it. We need it. You can really tell since we came. I mean, early this morning the sun was kind of back behind Dave's head here. He's right on camera too. But now, whew, it's powerful.
Well, that's why we give those sunburn times, right?
That's right. And that's why Bill is standing by with the Mai Tai on
a
stage
virgin
left.
Mai Tai, we're told.
Of course, because
yes.
the FCC does not partake.
We'll be right back with much, much more from Navy Pier. Stay with us. What is that?
Water.
Right.
I'm going to drink this quickly because Bill's got the Mai Tai. And he's going to share.
Chicago, Chicago, that toddling town. Chicago.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's check in with Joni now. She's up in the family pavilion. Lots to do. If you have kids who are bored this summer, bring them on down. Hi, Joni.
Hey, you know, I just realized that we've been indoors the whole time during this whole show because there's a lot to do inside. And you know, you can come to Navy Pier during inclement weather. You can come in the winter. It's always open. Stuff to do inside, so don't be afraid. We've got Steve with us this morning from the Pier. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. You must be having a fantastic season because, you know, weather's been good lately at least.
Absolutely, although the beauty of the Pier is there's also a lot to do even if the weather's not nice. We've got the family pavilion right here, which has the Chicago Children's Museum, Cineplex Odeon's Navy Pier IMAX Theater, which is a 440-seat indoor theater with a screen that's 80 feet wide, 6 stories tall, featuring the latest in 3D technology.
Right. And then the third thing, the Crystal Garden.
Crystal Garden, which is a 33,000 square foot indoor park where it's summer 365 days a year.
Ah, no, that sounds like heaven.
Absolutely.
The IMAX theater must be a huge attraction with its 3D movies.
It's a big attraction. Right now it's featuring a film called Wings of Courage. In the fall they'll switch and add a new film. It's an absolutely spectacular attraction here at the Pier.
Well, Steve, I think we're inside because we're going to go shopping. Tell us about
That sounds like fun.
Okay, this store is called Illinois Marketplace, and what kinds of stuff in here?
Illinois Marketplace features a lot of different collectibles, and from the various institutions within Chicago, the different museums, plus handcrafted products from the different artisans located in the state of Illinois.
So you can find things from your backyard, practically.
Absolutely.
Have you measured how many Chicagoans versus how many tourists are coming to shop?
Yeah, it's approximately 2/3 of the people that come to Navy Pier are from metropolitan Chicago, and another third are visitors to the area.
Okay. Nina, what you got in your hand? Show me what you got.
This is visitor information from Chicago and from the state of Illinois, the 96 calendar of events and the Chicago calendar of events. Illinois Marketplace is a visitor information center that shares tourism with people from throughout the city and the state.
Do you get many foreign visitors?
We have a lot of international visitors, a lot of visitors from just outside of the city, and a lot of people from Chicago that are planning trips downstate and to other parts of the area.
And Toby, come here a second. Show us what some of the popular things are.
Really popular is our brick from the Chicago Stadium. It's probably one of our best-selling items, as well as Route 66 has become so popular, not only domestically, but internationally. I mean, every international person that comes over here, and since Chicago is the starting point of Route 66, we do a lot of business just in the memorabilia type products.
Nostalgia is a big hit. Really, these bricks are selling?
You wouldn't believe. We can't even keep them in the store. Yeah, they are that big of a seller.
You know, there isn't an endless supply of those.
I know. So people better get them quickly. You better take one home with you.
Okay, thank you for showing that to me. You know, there's all sorts of treasures from all over the state. Have you noticed, is this a popular store?
This is a very popular store. All the stores are popular here. We actually have over 60 different retailers here in both stores and carts located throughout the pier.
Okay, so lots to choose from.
Absolutely. Everything from books and games, magic tricks, stuffed animals, clothing.
I think you named it all. Thank you so much, Steve, for joining us. Later on, finally, we're going to hit the outdoors, and we're going to show you some of the fun that's outside Navy Pier. Sonia, Larry?
All right, Tony, thank you.
Great. Bill's finally here on stage with us. Does the Tribune plane cover sunburn? I don't know.
Or retinal damage?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We need more light. Can we get some more lights out here, please?
See, that's why I brought my lawyer over here, in case you didn't.
Your lawyer or your own
See, I'm
person?
impressed by this uniform.
Yes.
Anybody who, Admiral Nelson. No, actually, it's Admiral Cormac.
Admiral Matt
Cormac.
Glad to
Yes.
have you.
I am the keeper and preserver of Navy Pier history and tradition.
Oh, very nice.
And Lord knows there's a lot of it here.
Good.
And apparently you've come across some low-flying pigeons.
Absolutely. They got me set up for the Ziegfeld Follies here, too.
And I guess they're doing a cappella, and you do some, I've never heard of this, country western a cappella?
We do a little bit of country western. The songs that we do are Walking After Midnight, which I think was recorded by Patsy Cline, and the other one does not come to mind right now, but we do another, City of New Orleans, Woody Guthrie, Arlo Guthrie, one of those Guthries.
Excellent. And those medals were won for what?
For valor and courage. I think a few of these are band and gymnastic medals, too. More for valor and courage.
I saw you on the floor exercise last night. That was very
Thank you.
impressive. Yeah.
What a wonderful
Unlike
ball.
Sally Raw, I had a stretch. I'm a little bit older than she is, you know.
Yeah, understood. He's one of the Navy Pier players. Larry, you're going to be talking to them. Quite a cast
That's
of
right.
characters
They've got a
over there.
baseball player over there, and now the guy in the red hat. I don't want to take a guess as to what he's supposed
That
to be.
is Lakeshore Louis LaSalle. He represents the razzmatazz and all that jazz of the 1920s and 1930s of Chicago.
Very
Now,
good.
Are you like peer pressure? You're out here 5 days a week?
We are here 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday. We do 5 shows a day, so come on down and see us. We're here all year round.
And you'll get a sneak peek coming up when we come right back. Stay with us.
Woo, you need a hanky out there. Woo.
Let's go sing some a cappella.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, a lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Hey,
All right, folks, we're back to the Navy Pier players, led by Admiral Mack. Thanks, guys. Boy, you guys sound great.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry.
Admiral, I'm going to try and sneak around all these microphones here and introduce some of the folks. We met Sally Raw, and this is Jerry. Why don't you step up?
Yeah, how you doing, my friend? I'm from Humboldt Park. I'm Chicago's biggest super fan this side of the Mississippi's.
You wouldn't think someone like yourself would be into the arts and theaters.
Well, I'm kind of a budding singer, kind of a Bobby Vinton of the 90s, you know?
All right, Wendy, let's talk to Wendy Sales here.
Hi, Larry. I'm Wendy Sales, your voice to fly by here at Navy Pier. I do all the radio shows down at the Grand Ballroom.
All right. We're moving along. Looks like someone who spends a lot of money with credit cards over here.
Yes, I'm Gloria Bankston, the Magnificent Mile Shopper, and you know what my motto is? Charge it!
What did you buy me?
Oh, I bought a lovely hat.
Oh, great. Is it one like this? Because this is the kind of hat I've been looking for.
You think so? Well, howdy, howdy, ho, WGN. I'm Lakeshore Louis LaSalle, and I represent the jazz and razzmatazz of Chicago.
All right. And who do we have here, Catherine?
Well, darling, I'm Catherine O'Leary, and you know I'm here with my special cow, Daisy, and I'm here to say about that great old Chicago fire, we didn't do it. I'm setting the record straight.
How many gallons you getting from that cow?
Well, darling, you know, she used to be a Holstein, but now she's a Halfstein. Poor old kitten.
Very good. Tell us, Admiral, what is the next song we're going to hear from you
We're
folks?
going to do Gloria Bankston's favorite song, My Kind of Town.
All right. Take it away, folks.
Now, don't you ever ask me what Chicago is, unless you've got an hour or two or three. 'Cause I can tell you all the things Chicago is. All the things Chicago means to me. She is my kind of town. Chicago is my kind of town. Chicago is my kind of people too. People who smile at you, and each time I roam, Chicago is
what?
Calling me home.
All right.
Chicago is. It makes me grin like a clown. It's my kind of town. Do da 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 do wa da da do do wa do 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 da do. My kind of town. Chicago is my kind of town. Chicago is my kind of razzmatazz. And you laugh. Oh, that jazz, and each time I leave, Chicago is tugging my sleeve. Chicago is the Wrigley Building. Chicago is the Chicago County. Chicago is one town that will never, never let you down. It's my kind of Chicago, 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 my kind of town. Woo! Chicago!
All right. Nice.
They are wonderful.
10 times better than the village people.
You know, I missed them when I was out here too. Oh, are they doing a second number? Look at them.
You know what, those a cappella folks, they'll just go. You know, you don't even have to cue them, they just go.
Well, we'll have much more when we come back.
Yeah, we got.
Well, hold on, Bob is right behind
here
you.
messing with my IFB.
Hey, is Joni ready back there? Let's go to Joni, who's
It's at the carousel, I believe.
Hi,
Joni.
Don't you see? Hey, everybody. We're at a big attraction up here. You know, we're finally outside with all the fun things to do. We've got Aaron Green, who is the Pier Park supervisor, with us today. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. This carousel is beautiful.
It's great. All the animals were molded from animals of old-fashioned carousels, so they're really unique.
There's a tradition behind it.
There is. And actually up here we have pictures, renderings of the historical Navy Pier. And there is one carousel that was a carousel out here in 1916 when the pier opened.
There used to be one here, huh?
Back when the pier opened in 1916. So there's a lot of history.
So what do you hope, I don't know, do you see a lot of adults on this?
Actually, yes. A lot of adults do ride with and without children.
There's something like a little romance that goes with the carousel.
Yeah, at night we get a lot of couples out here, and it's real neat with the music and everything.
All right, let's give Maureen the high sign so she can get it started and we can watch it go. And as it starts to turn and parents hold on to those kids, we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to show you the tallest attraction at Navy Pier. We'll be right back.
I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the ships roll.
Chicago, Chicago, that toddling town. Chicago, Chicago.
Aren't you glad you didn't wear that outfit today?
Yes, I am.
That would have been embarrassing.
Oh, I love, what's her name though? The shopper? With the
shopper.
bag? The one who
Is
says
that Gloria?
charge it?
Gloria.
I love
Gloria
that.
Bankstead.
Yes.
Yeah.
My motto too.
Other things we forgot to mention here, IMAX Theater is here.
Yes.
I've seen a couple of those shows.
Have
That's
you
a lot
really?
of fun.
Because it's the largest flat screen. In case you're wondering, what's the difference between OmniMax and IMAX? IMAX is the flat screen. We got 3D glasses,
3D.
right? I've never seen the movie here. Love to see
It's a lot of fun. Well, Joni is having fun on the Ferris wheel. She climbed on board, and where are you now, Joni?
She gets all the
Hi.
great assignments.
Hey, we're on the Ferris wheel. We have a hard time hearing you. I'm sorry. We're just so excited because we're going to get to the top. Maybe we have better reception up there. Anyway, we've got Aaron. We've got Jordan with us this morning. There's Christopher. Can you see Sarah over here? Poor Daryl is going to have to switch around. And Uncle Bart's with us this morning. Aaron's going to tell us about the Ferris wheel. This is modeled after one that was in the Columbian Exposition.
Right. Back in 1893, the first Ferris wheel was built here in Chicago. So it's historic to Chicago to have another Ferris wheel here. This one, however, was built in the Netherlands and was shipped over last spring.
It's completely safe, of course, but it's so open air that I see people getting a little bit nervous when we start getting up to the top.
We do get a lot of nervous people, but once they get up and they realize that you move so slowly, their fears subside.
So up here you have some of the most fantastic views of the city on a clear day.
Oh, it's beautiful. And at night it's great as well. You can see every light in the city.
Really? Tell me about that nighttime thing. I've never been up here at night. I've gone plenty during the day.
Like you said about the carousel, it's very romantic up here. We've had several engagements. And
on the carousel up here?
On here, yes. Every now and then they want it stopped so they can ask right at the top of the wheel. But it's real fun.
And you'll let them do that?
Sometimes. Usually they just ride around and they ask.
That by itself. How are we doing? How are we doing? Christopher, look down. Look down. Does that give you a rush?
No.
No? You're okay with it? You know, see, Christopher's been up here before, so I think he's cool with it. Some of the things that you can see when you're up near the top, and we are just getting close.
Almost there. You can see the Hancock building. You can also see all the way over to the aquarium in McCormick Place. See a glimpse of Soldiers Field over there. See the entire skyline. And on a clear day, you can see Gary.
Yeah, that's true. Pick out somebody's office.
Right now, we're at about the top, and we should be 150 feet up, 15 stories high.
All right, everybody wave bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Back to you guys.
Oh, Joni, we can see you too.
Yeah.
Wave.
Hey.
Man. Yeah.
Hey, Joni.
Oh, wow.
Can they crank that thing up to like 50?
You see, that's the. I think that's
that
so
would be a
romantic.
ride.
Hearing her
Arms
say that people
inside
wait
the car.
they wait till they get to the top and ask people to marry them. What a neat place to propose.
Great.
There you go.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us. It's been a lot of fun.
We'll see you next week, everyone.
See you Monday.
Bye-bye.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over hill, over dale, as we hit the dusty trail, and the caissons go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, counter march, right about, and the caissons go rolling along.